Here are 5 cask strength bourbons that you need to know about. What's up, everybody? It's Ty the Bourbon Guy, and welcome back to my channel. So you might hear terms like cask strength or barrel strength, barrel proof. Let's see, what else can I think of? Rickhouse proof, full proof. I don't know. There's a lot of different terms when it comes to higher proof whiskey. The thing that we're going to cover today is relating to cask strength bourbon specifically. So there are instances where you have a whiskey that's higher proof, but there's not anywhere on the bottle that indicates that this is barrel proof. Barrel proof or cask strength, all these things, except full proof. That's the only one that's different. But the rest of these terms are referring to whiskey that's come out of this barrel and has not been diluted at all. There's no water added to this, uncut, unfiltered, all that stuff, right? So that's what that's referring to, and that's what we're going to cover today. So there's some whiskeys that are full proof that I like. 1792 is a good one, but that's not necessarily cask strength, so not going to cover that. There's other ones that are barrel proof whiskeys, but they're not bourbons specifically. And remember, bourbon is just a type of whiskey, so there's other types of whiskeys. Rye whiskeys, American whiskey, Tennessee whiskey, whatever. We're not going to cover any of those today. We're going to worry about that for another video. We're just going to stick to bourbon. Number 1, Wild Turkey Rare Breed. I don't know how I make a video and not include this. This has to be on this list. Not only on this list, but number 1 as well. Wild Turkey Rare Breed to me is such a good value. It's a lower price point comparatively, meaning that at $50 to $60 in that range, depending on where you're at, the quality that this brings, the flavor profile that it brings, I feel like can hang with a lot of these allocated bottles, and I think it can surpass a lot of those allocated bottles. I enjoy this way more than I enjoy some other bottles that I spend more money on. And that just goes to show you that within the bourbon world, there's plenty of options out there that don't really matter what the price is. If it's good, it's good. And Wild Turkey Rare Breed is good. It states on the label that it's a barrel proof product, so we know that this is not watered down or anything like that. Wild Turkey is known for how good of a quality whiskey they provide. I'm a fan of it. This seems to be one that a lot of people enjoy as well. So I don't think there's really any shockers here, but it's definitely on my list. Number 2, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. So speaking of no real surprises, this is kind of right in the same mold. So again, there's other whiskeys out there that are higher proof, but this actually states on the label that it's a barrel proof product. So recently they changed their barrel proof offering to not just be a set standard age. So they had an age statement on. Now they still include an age statement, but it's younger than 12 years, depending on which batch you have. It can be. So the ages kind of vary on this. The proof also varies on this. Can be barrel proof, but that proof specifically and the ABV percentage can be different bottle to bottle. These flavors are just there's just so much richness and depth there. And I love the texture of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. A lot of creaminess, definitely oak, but just rich, deep notes. That's really what I get from this. Really good product overall. All right, number 3, Old Ezra 7-year bourbon. This is their barrel strength, obviously, and it's a product from Lux Row, who was recently acquired by MGP. So this is a whole family now of MGP products. It's definitely one that I don't know if I'd call this a sleeper. I think people know about it, but I don't know if enough people know about it. I didn't see it as available before, but I've definitely seen it a lot more lately. And I'm hoping that the acquisition and all these other things have kind of helped there to be more of a product out there. And get that distribution out to other people. But this bottle is one that I've seen people sleep on before. I don't think maybe they haven't tried it or didn't really know what was in this bottle. But if you come across this one and you see it, I would encourage you to try it. And if you can't try it first, just go ahead and buy it. All right, number 4, Four Roses Single Barrel Barrel Strength. These Four Roses single barrels, I buy every single one that I see ever. So for those that may not be familiar, Four Roses actually has a regular single barrel offering that's 100 proof. They also do these barrel strength picks. So if you see a store pick, it's a barrel proof product. Within that, Four Roses has all these different things they can do in terms of recipes. And so they list them on the side of the bottle as to which recipe this actually is. And then on the neck tag, it'll tell me what I'm supposed to be getting. I'm supposed to be tasting flowers and everything else, but that's what it's trying to tell me. To me, yes, there are certain recipes that I enjoy more than the others, but I would be happy with any of these. I'm okay with any of these Four Roses single barrel products. I love them all at barrel strength. I think there's just something about Four Roses at barrel strength. I mean, there's something about every whiskey at barrel strength. Very good product, and if you see it, definitely buy one. And maybe even work on collecting different ones, different recipes, and see which ones you like. Number 5 is Holiday Soft Red Wheat Rickhouse Proof. So same type of concept, right? Rickhouse Proof, you know, barrel strength, it's all the same, different terminology, meaning the same things. But this is a whiskey that seems to be the darling of 2024. It's just an amazing bottle. I had it towards the end of last year, so you could say 2024, but I mean, either way, this is definitely the best whiskey that I've officially reviewed in this year. When I think about Weller foolproof alternatives, this one comes up all the time. And forget the alternative. I feel like that's the alternative to this now. Like, this is so good, and everybody that I've talked to has seemed to enjoy this as well. And I know there's going to be a lot of hype, and then people kind of, at least for me, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Does it really live up to that hype, or are people just excited about it? I tried it and I was like, yeah, it lives up to the hype. Absolutely phenomenal bourbon, very good, very delicious. And same type of thing, a lot of richness, there's depth there, very drinkable. That soft red wheat definitely softens the whiskey up, even at a Rickhouse Proof, and just one that I can keep going back to and get a lot of those very, very good flavors. Great product coming out of Missouri. Ben Holiday has been doing their thing this year, so keep it up, that's awesome. All right, that does it. That's 5 barrel strength bourbons that I enjoy right now. Someone might ask, why even do I want to drink a barrel strength bourbon when it's just hotter? It's just higher proof. What does that really mean? Well, the reason for that is kind of think of it like a steak. So I heard Jimmy Russell actually mention this one time, where you order a steak, you know, whether it's medium rare or medium or whatever it is, because you want to get more flavor out of that steak. You don't want to cook it to the point where all the flavors just stripped of that steak. Similarly with bourbon, if you water down this product, it can taste watered down. So if a product is 100 proof and 50% ABV, then that literally means there's 50% alcohol and there's 50% water. So it's a watered down product. When you have a bourbon that's cask strength or barrel proof or whatever you want to call it, again, that's referring to the fact that there's been no water added to this product, and this came out of the barrel at exactly this proof. There's no water in here. There's still water and all that stuff from the initial process, but it's not watered down again once it comes out of the barrel. So a lot of people think this is the closest I can get to drinking something right out of the barrel. This is the way people intended it, blah, blah, blah. I don't go that far. Drink your whiskey how you want to drink it. If you want to get these and enjoy them, but put them over a rock or add water yourself, I kind of like that too, because you can dictate how much water you put in rather than them proofing something all the way down to 100 proof. You can start at 120, let's say, and water it down just a little bit, add a couple drops to your liking. So that's another reason why I kind of go for these, but I don't think you can go wrong with any of these 5. These are fantastic whiskeys. All of these distilleries know what they're doing. They make great products. You definitely can't go wrong. 5 is, I feel like, not nearly enough to really give you enough options. But I think out of these 5, you can find something you like. Let me know in the comments, as always, which ones you like out of this list, which ones did I miss that you would have added, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.